Bipin Bihari, it seems, gave expressions to his own sentiments regarding his personal Ishtadevta as if sharing them with a friend. Nirmala thereupon joined her sweet young voice to his rich and rich and melodious one. Hari Kirtan must have reached new heights on such occasions, and these were quite frequent because father and daughter sang together whenever possible. Nirmala had some cousins to play with when she visited Sultanpur. One such cousin, Susila, later came to ashram and became a permanent inmate. She used to narrate that even animals were attracted to Nirmala. Cows returning from the pasture would stop near her and nudge her gently. Susila also said that sometimes they would find Nirmala as if talking to trees and plants. This used to scare the other children because they could almost imagine that it was a conversation that the plants were bending forth a little. Before they could really think anything more of it, Nirmala would run along and join them, and they would forget about her odd behavior with the trees. All these traits, which were noticed by one or the other of her relations and playmates, remained with Srima all her life. She was seen often not to differentiate between animate or inanimate objects. Didi Grupriya had noticed that when Sri Ma was about to leave a habitation for good, she would sometimes go around touching the walls almost as if she were bidding farewell to old friends. That she easily communicated with plants and animals was witnessed by many people, and in due course ceased to strike them as anything unusual in her. Her magnetic attraction, even for complete strangers, similarly was taken for granted and not wondered elated. While still a child, Srima was seen in many such situations. Once her father took her along to his sister's village to attend the function of the annual Durga Puja. Father and daughter set out for the river bank where they would board the steamer for going across. At midday, Bipin Bihari stopped at a marketplace to buy some food for themselves. Nirmala was little way off from the shop. One woman, probably a street walker, approached her, asked her name and destination. Nirmala gave her name and said she was going on a visit to her aunt for the Durga Puja. The woman then asked if she would like to come to her house and eat something, to which Nirmala replied in the negative. After more questions and answers, it was time to go as her father had finished and was beckoning her to follow him. They arrived at the pier, the women following at a little distance. When they had boarded the steamer, the woman was seen to stand on the shore looking at the little girl for as long as she remained visible. The aunt's village Tantar was a considerable distance and they had to stay overnight at a friend's house. These friends had not seen Nirmala before. The women seemed beside themselves with joy. They looked upon her visit at this auspicious time as that of the goddess herself. They gave her new clothes, presents, made much of her, and were reluctant to say goodbye the next morning.